I am a firm believer that we don't live long enough to learn from our own mistakes. In this video, I am going to share 8 mistakes which you need to avoid, more especially if you are under the age of 40 years old. But this video is going to be beneficial to any individual who wants to realize his or her financial freedom. So if you like these kinds of videos, remember to subscribe, like, and also don't forget to share. The first key idea or the first mistake which you need to avoid is the partner which you are going to choose. Avoid choosing a partner who is going to be directly the opposite of what you are interested to achieve. Anyway, I need to share kind of a brief story from The Idiot, a book written by Fyodor Dostoevsky. In that book, there is one character who asks the prince, Are you sure that you believe beauty heals the world, or you have just fallen in love? Why is that so essential? Most individuals are misled by beauty, but in the real sense, beauty is not going to sustain you financially, more especially if you have different financial behaviors between you two individuals. Maybe your wife or your husband likes to spend too much, while the other individual is a saver. At the end of the day, the one who likes spending is going to win. But you, as an individual who is interested in saving, you are going to be frustrated and you are not going even to be happy about how your marriage is going to turn out. So if you are one of those individuals who hasn't married or you have already married and you believe you made a mistake, maybe divorce is the right decision which you need to make if you want to avoid being miserable during your old ages. So before you marry, ensure that the individual who you are going to marry, you have financial alignments in that the one individual is not going to be a spender while the another individual is interested to save. So that's one of the best things which you can make if you want to realize your financial freedom. Another thing which you need to avoid if you want to realize your financial freedom at your old age is the amount which you are going to invest in your house. Most individuals, one of the mistakes they make is they go ahead and purchase a huge house, which is going to drain them in terms of the amount which they are going to spend in paying mortgages and also the maintaining cost of that house, and they may end up hating that house because it is not giving them a peace of mind. It is kind of advised that if you are going to spend a given amount on your house, it should not be more than 30% of your total amount which you earn into your house. So if you are one of those individuals who is interested in owning a big house, ensure that it's not going to eat much of your resources. Instead of those extra resources, maybe be used in investing. So ensure you don't buy a huge house which is going to make your life miserable, more especially in terms of financing it in mortgage. Another thing which most individuals end up spending a lot and it doesn't really make a difference in their life is the car which they are going to buy. Most individuals end up acquiring huge cars which are not of any benefit to them, in that because they want to keep up with the Jones and Joneses. But if you are one of those individuals who is more interested in your financial freedom, you should go ahead and purchase a car which is going to ensure you have some extra resources and excess resources which you are going to invest. Maybe you can go ahead, choose a decent car which is working. Don't buy a car which is not working, which you are going to spend a lot in terms of repair. Just go buy a good second-hand car which is going to cater for your own use and also maybe your family use, and stop just buying any car because you have seen it is the latest model or it is being promoted by advertisers. So that's another thing which you need to ensure before making any mistake. Another thing which you need to avoid making as a mistake is not investing, not planning your retirement. That's what I'm trying to mean. Most individuals tend to forget that retirement is coming. You are not going to stay young forever. And one of the best things which you can ensure that your financial freedom is realized in the future is start investing as early as possible. If you are a young individual, start with an amount which you have at the moment. If you realize the benefits of compounding, it is going to do much of the lifting if it's allowed to compound for a long period of time. So if you are a young individual, you have more advantage because you have time on your side. And if you are an old person, it means that probably you need to put more resources into your future retirement such that at least some influence is going to be realized by through compounding. So don't delay investing in retirement just saying that you are still young. Ensure that you start as early as now, in that the compounding effect is going to be realized by your own investment. Another thing which you need to ensure that you avoid is you need to know where your money goes. Most individuals don't have a budget in place. And one of the easiest things which you are going to make, and it will ensure you lose a lot of resources or you don't track your resources, is by you not having a budget in place. Having a budget in place will at least show you how you are going to how you spend your resources, and maybe it can give you an option on what to reduce on spending, and also what maybe you need to increase in spending, maybe in savings, all of those things. So the best thing, and also it's one of the most challenging thing, is if you don't have a budget, just go ahead and try having a budget in place, or probably at the starting point, you can at least ensure you record how you spend your money without maybe compromising on anything. And at the end of the month, you will have at least an estimate of how much you spend. And this is going to ensure at least you have a starting plan, or as a kind of a project on which you are going to adjust your own tune. That's another thing which you need to put into consideration. Another thing which will most individuals end up making a mistake is they are too cautious in terms of investing. If you are a young individual, you don't need to be so cautious. One of the best things which you can do is maybe use an index fund. Don't go ahead and put your resources in bonds. Bonds, we all understand they are not responsible in creating wealth. But if you are at the age of 50, 60 years old, or 70 years old, you can go ahead and invest your resources through index fund in the bond market. But if you are a young person, don't be so cautious, because you have time on your side, and the stock market, even if it is fluctuating now and again, if you have like the next 30 years or to 40 years to invest, you are assured that you are going to be a rich person by the age you retire. And this is going to be one of the best, I believe, one of the best fulfillments, in that you will not be struggling at your old ages. So if you are one of those young individuals, don't be so cautious, just go ahead and start investing in the stock market. Another thing which most individuals end up making a mistake is not having an emergency fund. One of the things which you need to realize, at the end of the day, it's not when it is going, it's not will it happen, but you will always have an emergency. So you really need to be prepared. This emergency fund should be at least 3 months, probably good months, probably 6 months at a minimum, but at the start, ensure you have 3 months an emergency fund in place. This is going to caution you. Maybe you will end up losing your job, a car may break down, or you may end up being sick. This amount is going to assist you to prevent you from going ahead and acquiring a loan, which you are going to pay a lot of interest on it. So always have an emergency fund in place, which is going to caution you during difficult times. Another thing which you need to Another mistake which you need to avoid, or which you need to take into consideration, is trying to time the market. Most individuals, great investors, have always encouraged that individuals should avoid timing the market. Timing the market, it's not one of the best ways which you are going to use in order to create wealth. If you want to build wealth for a long period of time, ensure you have a good schedule in place. Invest consistently, maybe once a month, consistently over a long period of time. No matter how high the market is or how low the market is, it is going to equal itself at the end of the day. So if you are one of those individuals who is interested to be successive in terms of financial freedom at your old age, ensure that you don't try to time the market. And lastly, I think the most essential kind of advice to every and each person, the mistake which you need to avoid at the end of the day, is not investing in yourself. The best investments, as a common saying which goes, it says that the best investment is the investment in yourself. So if you are one of those individuals who probably doesn't attend some financial seminars, or you don't read some books, or you don't have some financial advisor, probably you need to be cautious when it comes to financial advisors, maybe watching some podcasts or listening to some financial podcasts, that's one of the best investments in yourself, which is going to give a higher return compared to all the ones which I've already listed. So ensure you invest in yourself and it is going to give you a higher return. If you have found some value out of this video, remember to subscribe, like, and also don't forget to share. See you in my next one. Siku njema.